My name is Kris Gethin, and what I aim to bring to you is inspiration, motivation from clients, everything that will allow you to evolve as a human being. Good morning, everybody, from sunny Tulum, Mexico. This is the Knowledge and Mileage podcast. And as you may hear with the background noise, we are at a restaurant having an early breakfast, a pre-workout breakfast, with my special guest, Joan McDonald, and my long-time friend and her daughter, Michelle McDonald. Hello, good morning, and thank you very much for being on the show here, Joan.
Thank you, Kris. I'm glad to be here.
Good to have you here.
I'm ecstatic to be here too. It's been a long time.
Okay, so our second voice was Michelle, if you haven't figured that out already. So the reason why I wanted to get Joan and Michelle on the show here this morning is that both from Canada, moved over here to Tulum. I actually have known Michelle for many, many years because we were both in India at the same time in 2011. When I was there training Riddick Roshan, I actually did some of Michelle's Bikram yoga classes and wanted Riddick to actually participate in some of his classes because he didn't want to go out into public, he didn't want to do anything like that, but persuaded him to do so. So known Michelle since then. Here we are in Tulum. It's absolutely crazy. And her mother, Joan, who is now, what is your age right now, Joan?
Still 75.
Still 75. Still 75.
For a couple months.
Has become a huge inspiration to millions of people around the world. And, you know, I think you're an absolute inspiration myself. And I really wanted to get your message across to people out there from all walks of life, but specifically to those that just use their justification or excuse as to why they shouldn't lead a healthy lifestyle. Like I was with you yesterday. You know, there's a lot of us that had, you know, food around you. There was pizza around you, but then I saw that you ordered this big salad with prawns, king prawns on it, and I just thought, this is awesome. And then later on, as we're going back to our hotel, my wife and I were heading back, we happened to see you on your bicycle, bike back, which is a good few miles away from where we saw you at the beach. I thought, this is just awesome. I have to do an interview, okay? So, but first of all, before we get into this, Joan, like, what is your background? You know, you grew up in Canada. You know, what was your life like growing up? Obviously, having kids, and what was your lifestyle then? And then we'll get into your lifestyle now. But tell us a little bit about your background and growing up there.
I grew up in a small town. I was born in Newfoundland, and then we came to Ontario, and grew up in this small town and had a regular life like everyone else. I kept fairly active with sports and stuff like that, but I wasn't like, I never thought of myself as being really athletic. Then I ended up moving to Toronto, and that's where I met my husband, and I was working for the government, Ontario government. Anyhow, I had my 3 children, and we moved to Coburg, and I had my last child there. And what we did was just I concentrated on my kids.
Did you work?
And I worked, yes.
It was very hectic.
Michelle remembers stuff that I have forgotten, and I remember stuff that she's forgotten. So, like I said, I kept fairly active outside of the home as well. And I did as much as I could with my kids. Like, I was the one that took them places and we did things.
At what stage, you know, you said you was very active and, you know, going skiing and stuff like that. And, you know, were you leading what you would consider like a healthy lifestyle in regards to your food choices? Or would you come to a place like this and order like pizza or burgers? Or was it, okay, no, we're going to go for the salad?
No, I did not have the healthiest food choices. I didn't even know they weren't healthy. I would have ordered differently back then. And even though I thought I was eating fine, I started gaining weight. And I was a yo-yo person. I would lose the weight, then I'd gain it back. It was always gradual. And I was a person that didn't just gain in one spot. So you didn't really notice as much. I would gain it all over. So I wasn't noticing that I was getting fatter. But then I'd see my pictures and I hated them. If I could avoid the camera, I would like to be the one taking the pictures, not being in them.
Interesting. So
Yes.
Michelle has just showed a picture of you here, and you're unrecognizable there compared to
How old were you in
how
that
you look
photo?
now.
That's Kathy's wedding.
So 40? Younger than me.
Yeah, younger than me.
Or maybe late 30.
And I thought I was slim back then. Yeah.
And that's a funny thing. Like I think that I've noticed with a lot of people is that they don't notice that they're putting on the weight because it's a little bite here. Some friends come round and bring some food here, and maybe you are still active, and you're not constantly eating fast food, but it's the little details. Those little devils
Devils in
add
the
up.
details. Yeah.
Snacking
Yes.
is horrible. I realize now. Yeah.
Snacking. Okay. Do you do any snacking now, or you just basically?
No, it's
stick
not
to your-
here. It's not available. And that's great. I find that since I've been on Michelle's program, that the community is the main thing. Like when I answer all my Instagram, and now it's my app, the community is so much a part of keeping you accountable.
And supporting,
And
right? Supporting your
the
new
support,
lifestyle,
yeah.
your new choices, because
Yeah.
we're not educated. We spend all this time in school, and there's just no education on how to eat optimally to have great health. You just sort of, you're born and you're thrown to the wolves, and whatever family you're born into, it's happenstance of what your nutrition is like. And then, of course, now with advertising and what's available in the school systems and all this mixed up dietary information, the chances of you having any kind of healthy diet is so thrown out the window. Diet wars are raging constantly, and there's people are confused. And then also depending on your social and economic background, what you're exposed to, even the grocery stores, and a place that isn't as wealthy is quite different than a grocery store that's in a place that's more wealthy. You go into a grocery store in a lower income place, and there's sugar and high fructose corn syrup, food additives, fast foods, and it's cheap. It's cheaper than broccoli. At the checkout, at the outer aisles, you're fighting almost a losing battle, it seems. So the community really supports these new choices. Like everyone talks about protein and your carb choices, right? Balancing your meals.
It's very true.
When talking about food, and sometimes you'll see people go for their quote unquote healthier options. Maybe it's a lower sugar cookie or whatever, but they then use that as a justification to eat twice the amount of it.
Yes, that's very true. You put a picture of something that looks desirable in front of somebody, and they want it. Not that they need it; it's they want to try it, and then they get hooked on it, and then they're eating. Yeah, I know.
Eating, and then as you said, snacking as well. It's a big thing.
Eating mindlessly.
Yeah.
Like just having a bowl of nuts. I know Mom that used to kind of. Mom was 200 pounds for a lot of between 180 and 200 pounds for a lot of her adult life. And towards the end of it, when I would come home to visit, she didn't eat a lot. In fact, typical of most older women, she didn't have a big appetite. She would kind of skip meals, but she would be on her computer at night, and there would be a bowl of peanuts in front of her, and she would just not paying attention. She would eat her way through that bowl of peanuts, and that sort of mindlessness, not paying attention, and then under eating for large amounts of time. Of course, that's going to downregulate metabolism, and then overeating on calorie dense foods. occasionally or with the girlfriends on the weekends, is what piled the weight and kept it on.
Now, how many meals a day are you eating currently, Joan? Like, obviously, I saw you eat a big salad yesterday with prawns on here. Now you've got some breakfast in front of you. Are you eating regular intervals now, like within every 3 hours or so?
Within the 3 hours, yes. I have 5 meals. Usually start at 7 o'clock, and then I hopefully finish by 7. I don't like to eat anything past 8 o'clock. I just don't. I just feel that it's sitting there because I'm not active after that time.
Right, and like you're obviously an early bird. You know, we met at 7 o'clock this morning. Have you always been that way, or do you used to go to bed later? And have you noticed a difference in the change, if you have one?
Oh yes, I go to bed an awful lot earlier than I used to. I just can't seem to stay up late anymore. I normally wake up early now, but before I had my kids, I was one of these people that needed 9, 10 hours of sleep. Had my kids, it was cut in half. and it, I guess over the years, because I was working and I had to be up at a certain time and get my kids ready as well. So you have a routine that your body hooks onto. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to wake up the same time every day. So yeah, I wake up around 5:30 most every day anymore.
Okay, by 5:30. That's awesome. That's good for your circadian rhythm as well. And now, as far as your routine, now, and you do I assume like a body split where you're hitting a couple of muscle groups in your workouts. What does your workout routine look like in regards to your body parts and cardio? Like, are you doing a form of cardio on a daily basis as well? And what's that look like?
Well, my cardio is usually with biking, like especially down here, and that's how I get around. So
Except for hip work. You let her do the rower off of that.
Yeah.
She's a beast on that rower. I mean, I remember I didn't give her any hip work when she was first moving.
Hold it hit.
Her waist was below, around 33, 32, and you were off your heart medication, your hypertension.
Yeah.
And then I gave her some hip, and this girl was on the rower. I think you were about 160 pounds at that point, and she was on the rower, and I'm like, you need to back off a little bit. I mean, she was just hauling and huffing and puffing. But she loves the rower, and what do you get your heart rate up to, I think? Maybe even 160 or something like that.
Well, on that, yeah.
On the push yourself. One of Mom's superpowers is really being able to push herself. I'm usually telling her to back off a little bit.
And she's also telling me how to breathe.
And breathe.
I don't use the deep breathe. And I need to learn how to do that. I've always sort of been short of breath, but then I had rheumatic fever when I was a youngster twice, so it did a little bit of a number on my heart. I didn't realize it until I was an adult and they checked my heart out, and it's a little more enlarged than it should be. But it's not overly bad. But I seem to have always had this problem with taking sips of air instead of a deep breath and getting a lot of oxygen in. So
a lot of adults, especially females, though, don't take the inhalation. So I think it's also partly that too. It's lifestyle, maybe some chronic anxiety,
or it's a learned thing.
Linda.
So we're working on it.
Yeah. Chest up. Yeah. Deep breath. Yeah. I'm doing it.
But Mom's actually on. You've caught Mom on a little bit of a mini cut. So she's doing this 4 pounds in 4 weeks mini cut because her habits slid a little bit with planning out her macros. And the weight crept up a little bit. It was all the way up to 134. So the last time Mom visited us in the summer, she was just naturally not dieting. She was eating about 1,700 calories a day. And really, she falls into our rhythm here. Jay and I, we've been following this lifestyle for a long time now, over a decade. So she'll fall in with us, and she naturally trimmed down to 128 pounds, and you really see the tightness, the physique, the muscle popping through. But then she went home, she was selling the house, she got busy. And then even when she came back, and you weren't really paying attention, but she just really didn't really pre-plan everything. And Jay and I eat a lot of food. We're able to eat a lot of food, and she was kind of joining in on with us, and the weight crept up a little bit. And I noticed it. I said, "How much do you weigh?" And she said, "Almost 334 pounds." And I said, "Okay, let's do a. We don't want things going in that direction. Let's do a 4 pounds in 4 weeks challenge." So she's actually doing some daily cardio, and every morning she shows us the macro plan for the day. So
That's cool. That's cool. So you're doing cardio every morning? Is that what it looks like?
Well, yeah, I ride my bike everywhere, so I get that in naturally. But we planned a trip down to the beach as often as possible, which is a good distance.
Yeah, that's a good few months.
Yes, it is. And I feel that the cardio, if I don't do the cardio, the weight creeps up. The cardio, for me, not for everybody, but for myself, I know that I cannot not do it.
And I'm sure it makes you feel better as well when you get that blood flow around your body. You get the euphoric feeling,
Yeah,
the dopamine effect, and you get more energy. You get the blood flow to your brain. You feel more on point.
that is very correct. It is. You need to wake up if you're not active. All you want to do is sleep.
Yeah.
And I'll be a long time sleeping when I'm gone.
cardio has such a bad rap, and again, as a physique coach, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I think there's a misunderstanding or misinterpretation of research. If you're just doing cardio, you're not eating protein, you've got a lot of stress, of course, you're going to see some muscle weight there. But as part of a balanced routine, it's so important, and especially for a lot of people that maybe have a bit more of an endomorph body type that are naturally a bit heavier. It's crucial to maintain your fitness and your weight loss.
Yeah, I'm a cardio fiend myself. I love it. I love cardio. Like even if I'm in a quote unquote bulking phase or trying to put on more size, I'm doing cardio every day. I just feel so much better for it. It's like active meditation, and I'm getting a blood flow to my brain. So
I think Jay, my husband, was telling me, is it Nick Carter? You sure? Nick Walker.
Oh yeah.
Who's the current up and coming champion,
Yeah, I know
loads
that.
of muscle, and he was saying like I do 30 minutes of cardio every morning, and so it's like, come on, it's not going to kill your gains.
Exactly.
Like, as crazy as that idea, I think it was reading something on T Nation. Christian Thibodeau was saying, a bodybuilder saying cardio is going to kill my gains makes as much sense as a woman saying lifting weights is going to make me bulky.
Yeah.
And I love that. It really kind of like cuts to the chase.
Yeah, exactly true. So speaking of activity, now what does your weight training, resistance training workouts look like? Are you doing that every day, 4 days a week?
I work out 5 days a week, 2 days of rest, but they're not together. They're usually split up in the week. And I do upper body, concentrating on arms and shoulders 1 day, and lower body I could be doing
Chest and back. Yeah. Your upper body days are
yeah. There's two different.
one's usually going to be more chest and shoulders and triceps, and then another day will be more back, shoulders, and biceps.
And you split that with your lower body.
Yes.
And then lower body 3 times.
Lower body 3 times a week. Are they always different workouts for those lower body splits?
It'll be a more quad focus with some hamstring. One day, and then a hamstring focus with some quad the other day, and then a more glute focus. And they're slightly shorter workouts. Try to keep those workouts. They should be 45 to 50 minutes long. We'll sprinkle the volume out.
That's true. I was doing an awful lot more when I first started. It was only 4 days, but it seemed like I was doing it like 2 hours. Because I didn't know exactly what I was doing.
You have to look at the videos.
I'd have to watch someone doing the video, like the workout, and then apply it. And being older and naturally slower, it took me a lot longer to do, but I got through it, and I didn't mind being in the gym that length of time. I'm retired. I don't have to answer to anyone else.
I like that. I want to retire too. Now, I want to let you get to your breakfast here very soon. I know it's all going cold, but like, what do you say to people out there that are consistently yo-yo dieting? You know, they get in decent shape, but then they put the weight back on, and they're just in a constant struggle and battle to be at their chosen weight or their perfect weight. You know, what's the message and a bit of advice that you can give to these people?
I would say that the yo-yo dieting is just not it. You need to have a new lifestyle. So it's a mindset. You got to change how you think about food, about exercise. You take it on, and you're doing it for you, for your health. You're not doing it for anyone else. So make yourself a priority.
I can see you getting a little bit emotional here. Is that because like you've gone through this yourself and you see, I'm sure, you've got, 1.5 million followers on Instagram alone. So I'm sure you're getting a lot of messages from people that are going through the struggle, and you obviously have a lot of sympathy and empathy for those people. Is this partly because, you care so much because you've been there yourself?
Most definitely. I don't know why I keep getting like this, but anyway, it is a struggle. It's not easy. But I just think people should not buy into the stories that you're told that, okay, you're going to go through menopause, you're going to do this. It's like making you do it, not giving you an option. And you should have an option of being healthier. And I can only recommend doing it because I feel so much happier that I have taken it on and I'm doing it for me. And I'm happy shopping for clothes that I swap out with my daughter.
And being able to jump on a bicycle and bike to the beach and
just being younger.
Yeah.
I just feel younger. I don't.
Young at heart.
Yeah, you're young at heart.
You're biologically younger. You are.
Yeah.
You can see it in the photos in the thing. It's like you're a different woman. And I know all my clients. It's it's after they've lost the weight and they're lifting,
They feel so much better.
weights, they look 20 years younger.
Yeah.
It's the only side effect is youth.
Which is a plus, not a minus.
And the thing too, though, with the mindset that's got to be said is that it's not like you change your mindset. You read a book I recommend people read something like The Big Leap, or maybe James Clear Atomic Habits, or Donna Lee's Think Like a Warrior, or some kind of a book, or do some kind of a mindset program along with the weight loss, because it is important. It is important to change your mind, but it's not like if you do it and it's done. Especially if you've been visualizing yourself a certain way for decades. It's not like you then change your mind and it's done. You should always have a way to circle back, a system of circling back, going over a checklist, rereading chapters of the book, rereading your notes, and making sure, hey, am I still moving in the right direction, or have I slipped back? Slipping back, humans are ahistorical. That's why we joke about it in my transformation groups. That's why women, have 3, 4, 5 kids, because you forget the pain of labor and all that stuff. We're ahistorical. We forget what we ate for breakfast 2 days ago. We can't remember. We eat foods that give us indigestion because we forget. Oh, God, I'm never eating that again, or I'm never going to drink alcohol again. We do it again and again. So having notes, going back to the notes, rereading them, remembering, okay, I said I was going to do this the next time I was in this situation, not this. This is how we move forward. And so remembering that and going back to your notes and not slipping backwards, that's going to be key to not just losing the weight, but maintaining it and improving your health. Not even just maintaining what you've lost in the first 6 months of changing your body, but Kris, you can actually keep improving.
And without even, just doing what you've always been doing, I've noticed, when I lost that weight, I looked a certain way, and then I didn't change what I was doing. but my body changed. And that's the big plus, and that's why I keep doing it, because if it can happen that way,
What's around
what's
the
the
corner?
next year? Yeah, what's next year going to bring? Like it.
Mom's weight
It's
loss
great.
has been really exciting for me as a transformation coach, because she was my oldest client that I've ever had at that point in time. Now I've got more 70-year-olds, but she was the first one in the 70s. And, I mean, she's not on HRT, and she's been in menopause. She actually had a hysterectomy when she was in her late 40s. And
Yeah.
you'd been, obese clinically, right? Very, very overweight. Her waist was 39 inches for decades. And so to see the female body at that age, the first year she lost weight, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. But then it was really the third year,
When
and
everything.
we were no longer in a deficit. The deficit was just that first year. Then we did a reverse diet, slowly increasing calories, tapering back on the cardio. She was up to 60 minutes, tapering it back to like 20, 30 minutes a day. Then we were starting to see, wow, she's got shoulder striations. This woman has a tricep. This is amazing. This is not supposed to happen. Sarcopenia is supposed to be this hard reality, inescapable reality. And here his mom, not on HRT, so the hormones of a 70-year-old with a hysterectomy, somebody who's been overweight for a long time, and yet here we're seeing this really interesting stuff happen. And now she's in her 5th year. It really is exciting. Like, what's next for this gal by just sticking with the program? What's possible with the human body, and even her skin? That first year I did this transformation collage to inspire people, because so many people say, I'm sure you've had this, they lose the weight, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm not as excited with the maintenance phase. I feel like I don't have a goal. And I'm telling them, are you kidding me? This is the most amazing part. We're going to actually continue to have whatever, 26-inch waist or whatever it is they've achieved, but you're going to eat more food. And if you stick with it, your skin quality is going to improve, your muscle mass is going to improve, because now you're not in that deficit. This is where the exciting stuff happens. This is the abracadabra part of weight loss. And I put that post up with Mom because so many girls say, is my skin ever going to get better? I say, well, maybe not that first year. I mean, if you have a lot of cellulite and whatnot and lose skin, but the 3rd year, the 4th year, if you stick with it, you don't gain the weight back. Yes, look at my mom. She's in her 70s. Hasn't had loose skin surgery. And we're seeing some amazing stuff happen with the skin quality at the belly, the arms, right?
Oh yeah,
Even you, when you see the photos, you're like, wow, I've changed.
Yeah, the arms especially is where I see it. Well, even in the legs, my legs are kind of floppy, and I just find I can see the muscles. I can see them working, even walking upstairs and going. Yeah, you could take pictures
Your calves, you see your calves, your quadriceps.
It's
your glutes.
I don't get the
She has
behind me
She
though.
has a glute ham tie now.
Anyway, it's been amazing, and I think if people would just stick with it and start to love their body, love themselves.
Yes.
They gotta love themselves. That's a huge thing. I actually like my picture being taken now. Like it's phenomenal.
Used to hide.
I never did like. I have like when I was a child, I had pictures taken and I looked cute. And then it seemed I go through that stage where oh my God, you don't. Yeah. And now I'm back to where I like.
Now you love yourself.
Yeah, I do.
And that's part of the mindset journey. You have to envision who you want to become. You've got to allow yourself to have that dream. You've got to then fall in love with being that person, have pride in your habits, have pride in yourself, really connect with that deep love, and then refuse to ever go back to that shadow self, where you kind of abuse your body and treat it, you're negligent with it. Just always got to
Trying to
be from a
stay.
place of love.
Yeah, I used to try to be invisible, be there but be invisible, and it's not a nice feeling. It's not. I like where I am now. Thank you very much, Kris.
Of course, no, thank you. Now, I'm sure people out there would love to know, like, okay, I want to follow her program. I want to have accountability from Joan. So where can people find you? And I know that you've got an app and you've got a program out there that people can follow and sign up for. Where can they find that?
If they're doing Instagram, they'll find it on my bio. Michelle's there. She's
So that's Train with Joan.
Train with Joan and
Instagram.
and my on my Instagram, and then the app you can buy in the Apple Store. Unfortunately, that's the only place where it's available. I would like
And it's for iOS platform users,
Yeah.
for Apple users. So that's Train with Joan, and that's for the app company Plank. So they can find Train with Joan there. And you have a journal book. And I think the journal book is fabulous. It's also Train with Joan. Worked hard to put that one together. It's got nutrition, 5 meals a day that you can tick off. It has your water that you can tick off. How much sleep did you get? What are your intentions for that day? Your intentions for the week? Your intentions for the month? It's just a fabulous journal, and it's made for each quarter, right? So it's the idea is you have a new journal every
Quarter.
3 months, and you take those notes. And like I said, the key was to write stuff down. So go back and reread what you wrote. Mom started journaling when she created that book, and it's been an eye opener, right?
Yeah, you can go back and see what you thought at that particular time and what you accomplished during that. I've never done journaling before, and this is all new to me as well. So I'm working with like the people that are following me. Like we're doing it together, and it's a nice feeling. And it's a very big eye opener as to what your
You even
intentions
thought.
are.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I love the quotes. If you can take each day and
Each day has a
envision
quote.
that quote, apply it to yourself. I think that helps a lot too.
And then also has a book coming out. It should be out for just before. It should be out for Christmas next year, and that'll also be a lifestyle book. It'll have Mom giving a lot of her encouragements, how she did it, what her advices are, our advices are for being on a journey. It'll have recipe lists, sample meal plans written out for you, exercise programs to follow. So it's a pretty good cohesive book, and that'll be available in major places like Chapters and Indigo Books. That's another exciting thing that's on the burner.
You're busy.
She's not on YouTube as well. Train with Joan, YouTube.
That's true. I forgot about
There you go. There's so many platforms.
So
out
many
there.
platforms.
But you can be found. Okay, that's quite. So Train with Joan Instagram. Train with Joan is the YouTube, and is that the app as well?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Journal with Joan, yes.
All right, perfect. And we're going to put all the links here in the show notes as well, so people can just go straight down there and click on them. But I'm going to let you all get to your breakfast now. But
Thanks for having us, Kris.
No, thank you ever so much for giving us your time this morning. This is going to be our pre-workout meal, so we're going to go hit the gym after this, aren't we?
We are too.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
All right, thank you, everybody. This is the Knowledge and Mileage podcast, reporting from the Kibok Cafe, right next door to Tulum Jungle Gym in Pueblo. And my name is Kris Gethin, and we are out. Thank you. Thank you ever so much for listening. My name is Kris Gethin, and I am out.